So how do people find out about this list? Well, that process has actually been getting better over the years. CRL has been the thorn in PKI side for a lot of years, because to actually, how do you make sure that everybody with the public key knows about this? Well, if it's on the web, if it's on the internet, and we're going to talk about SSL, how SSL works today in this domain, but SSL depends upon validating a digital certificate. Now, if it's actually revoked, by default, your system doesn't go check if it's revoked. So if your computer and your browser will accept a certificate, it'll validate the certificate, but it's actually, if it has been revoked and it's listed on some CA's list somewhere that it's no good anymore, your browser actually doesn't know it. So it's trusting a certificate that it's already revoked. You can configure your browser to make sure that it looks at a CRL list. So when you go through the steps of making sure it's still valid, making sure that the subject matches to who it's supposed to be. It says this digital certificate is Sean Harris. Does it match to her email address? Yes. When you go through all that processes, one of the steps should be that your browser goes and looks at the CRL that's on the CA to say, hey, it's just been revoked. So you can enable that in your browser, but you'd have to know what this whole process is. So a lot of people a lot of systems are relying on certificates that could be revoked and they don't know it. Now, in internal PKIs, if you have a PKI within your organization, that's different. It's more controllable. And there's protocols that will allow for the CRL to be either pushed down to the systems. So on the individual systems, they have an updated CRL list, so they'll check that during the validation of the digital certificate, or the systems are configured to go and look at one point, and that one point is the updated CRL. So that we've kind of had a hard time with that in the industry, but there are solutions, and it's easier to control and ensure that systems go and check a CRL when it's internal versus out on the web.